Hi, CMattDye here. Welcome, beautiful people of the internet. And today I want to do a crypto video. I know I'm a little late with the one this week, but let me share my thoughts. And not too much different has happened since my overall view last week. So let's get into it. The crypto overall market cap I like to start each video with, and it tracks very closely to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the largest crypto, and it is the major crypto at the moment, and it kind of has been ever since it came out. So here we are. So I'm looking at this as a 1 2 3, and this whole move I'm looking at as corrective. Now, 4 being here, does that mean that I think the correction is over? No, I believe we have 6 to 13 months left in it. And I'm thinking in a couple different ways here. So I think this can come up here between 1.15 to 1.28 trillion market cap. So it's possible that it comes up here, and then it can get a little rejection from there. Now, if that were to occur, this would be like a B, and a C structure. So a corrective structure here in Elliott wave. And you guys know I do like to show Elliott wave, but I use a couple different tools along with Elliott wave. And that's how I come up with what I come up with. So anyway, it can reject from here. So before it gets to 1.6, 1.5, 1.6 trillion, it can reject. That's one scenario I'm looking at. The other scenario comes up to where I talked about initially, and then we can see rejection from either of those two areas for another low, and then wherever that goes, that's going to be the low for quite a few months, and then it can come up, and then it can come a little lower. Now, does it have to reject at one of these two areas? It does not, and that would be my other scenario, and it can come up somewhere up here. I would really want to wait and see. Given a figure, if I had to give anything, 1.6 to 1.8 trillion right now would be that area, but it could come up a little higher than that. And if it was to do that, it could be strong, or it could be a strong choppy, but I don't think it's just going to be straight choppy and take forever. So that's kind of what I'm looking at as the 3 scenarios. So now let's jump into the cryptos that I watch. Starting off with Bitcoin, which if I scroll down here, you can see it's fairly similar in pattern, and the structure here is very similar. Now I have these lines to give me areas to kind of keep an eye on, to watch for, and let me zoom in a little bit and I can talk about that. So let's zoom in a little bit. So here we are. Bitcoin, we had this move up here. Now, we had this move down. And where am I looking for Bitcoin to go? You can see this right here. That was the trade that we made, and we're actually still in. We're still in this trade, and we're looking for a move over this 21,000 level. 21,000 is a big area, and price hasn't made it over there yet. If and when it does, then I would definitely get a little bit more bullish with Bitcoin. Right now it's doing well, it's doing okay, looking for a further push up, if I could speak correctly. And that would be that 21,500 level. That's what I've been eyeing to see price get above. And since it hasn't got above, it is a little bit apprehensive and difficult to really be long full position. Right now we're not long a full position, but we're long, and we have our stops in place. We're going to make pretty decent profit off of this no matter what. But if it was to get over that 21,000, and it would kind of need to do so kind of soon. So price right now, it can come down and make another low, but you really want to see it hold over that 19,900 level. You don't want to see it get back below 19,800. If it did, it can be choppy and continue to push up, but it wouldn't be a good structure. So that's what I'm looking at with Bitcoin. So that 21,000, 21,500, big zone right now. And then if it was to get over that, I would be looking somewhere up here between 24 and 27,000. And then from there, price can do a couple of different things. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. And then from there, we can kind of get a little more clarification. And just like the overall market cap chart, Bitcoin can make another low. And that low can be below this low. I mean, below this high, it can find rejection. And when I say below this high, I mean 21,000 to 21,500. That's our rejection zone right now. What just happened? Okay, that's our rejection zone right now. It can come up, and then it can just get very choppy, and then it can come lower. And that lower area that I'm talking about, anywhere from 17 to maybe 15,800, so 17,000 to 15,800, anywhere in there, you can see that 16,000 number stands out it's pretty apparent. So anywhere in that zone, we can see price come down and make a new low. Now, if it's going to take out 21,000, 21,500, that would be huge. 21,000 being the initial level. Once it takes that out, then, we can see more bullishness come in with Bitcoin. So that's what I'm really keeping an eye on right now, just waiting to see what's going to happen. We're already in it. And when I say I place my trades in my Discord. People can take them, people cannot take them. It's not really there for, so you can just mimic my trades. It's really there just to highlight, what I can do. And then when I do mint that NFT project that I'm minting, that's going to be one of the utilities is, trading. And then there's going to be trading education, and, a nice Web3 website is going to be built after that. So that's kind of what it is there for. But my trades are very meticulous. I don't like to take a lot of risk, and I like to have a lot of reward. And you can see here, this trade, this was our risk. This little red part was our risk. The beginning of the red was my entry. And the bottom of the red was my risk. So if it got below the red, I would be stopped out. And then that green is the profit that I'm looking for. And you can see that it's massively more to the green side than it is to the red side, by quite a bit. The interesting part is it came up to the top of the green part and found resistance. So that's interesting. But anyway, that's a little bit about that. Let's go down with the crypto analysis that I'm doing. Let's go to Ethereum. Ethereum's doing the same thing that Bitcoin's doing. It's just a little bit stronger on this move. It came down very nicely, and we got long. I got long right over here. And you can see I was looking for this profit minimally, but price just kept moving, and I'm still in the trade. I need to start saying because those are my trades I'm highlighting. But anyway, it is looking very, very good. And similar to Bitcoin, sorry about the free ads. Similar to Bitcoin, it can find rejection in a couple different areas. However, this is strong. This is very strong move right now. And this area, that 15,000 area, was kind of the area I was looking at to see if price is going to be able to move above. Now the only thing that needs to happen is this high right here be taken out, which is at 1,663.06. So once that gets taken out, then we can see, okay, well, this was a great move. We can see a move down and then a further move up. and I'm looking at over 2000. So like that 1950 to 2200, that seems like a pretty good target right now for Ethereum. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at what can happen. So that 19.5 to 22, that's going to be that first real target zone that price is going to struggle with, and we're assuming that it's going to make a new high here. So that's the assumption. 19.5 to 2200, great resistance zone, but price can come up more than that, and that's going to be the last scenario that I'm looking at with Ethereum, and that could be anywhere from like that 2750 to 3000. So that's not my primary outlook, price coming up here, but it can happen. So like any good trader, you keep your scenarios on the table. What can happen? Well, these three different scenarios can happen. What am I looking for? Can price reject here? Yes. And that would be probably that below 1794. So probably anywhere below that, above 18,000. And I think we're pretty good to 19.5 to 22. I think right now the probability is decent getting there, but really just have to wait and see what happens with the overall market. So that is what I'm looking at with Ethereum, and it's going to be interesting. I'm looking at this as like an A, this would be a B, and a C would be coming up for those of you who do Elliott wave. ABC is a corrective structure. Like I said earlier, I think we have 6 to 13 months left of the bear market, so I am not thinking this is going to new highs. I've seen videos out there, people saying, okay, well, this is going to be the start to 12,000. That's not what I'm thinking. I think it's still a bear market. It's going to stay a bear market for a little while, but we have to wait and see. It's hard to prognosticate the future. So let's go to Cardano now. Cardano is one of my favorites. I really do like Cardano. And let's look at it. So Cardano, I kind of think it's counting just like Polygon as far as the larger pattern. Shorter pattern, it's obviously different. But as far as the larger overall gestalt, so I'm looking at this as like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which would be an impulse up in Elliott wave. So what does that mean? Well, really, price should stay above like 2.5 cents or whatever this low is. It's come down a lot, but that's okay. This being a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what could be the differences? Well, this could be an A wave, this could be a B, and then we could be looking at a C wave. But I think this is impulsive. And that's what I'm looking at. Now, if it gets below this level, different things are going to happen. I don't really foresee that happening, but I'm not a fortune teller, so I just trade what's in front of me. That's what I've done for a couple decades. But I'm looking at this structure as a complex correction to the downside. So because of that, could this be the end of the pattern? Yeah, but I don't think it is. I think that, my overall picture of the larger bear market that we're in, I think that it's going to take a little while. If you remember like the tech bubble that burst and we had that massive bear market for many years, I kind of think that's where we're at. And this was September of last year right here. And, it's been in a bear market ever since. So let's look at the short term and see what we can see. So short term, let's look at Cardano. This was a decent move up, actually. This was a decent move up. And now price is chopping around. So what I'm looking for, if this move does go to a new high, which would be above 44 cents. Probably could have just guessed at that number. 44 cents. So what I'm looking for is a minimum move above 56, 58, 60, somewhere up there. That would be pretty strong, and that would say, okay, well, this, Cardano can go up quite a bit here. That would be if it's going to be strong. Now, it can come down and make another low here around that 30 and a half cent area. I don't think it's going to come down that low. So I'm around 36 and a half to 38 cents. So if it does come down, that's what I'm going to be watching. All right, so that's what I'm going to be watching. One of the most hazards of making a video is talking too much and not drinking enough water. So excuse me for that. But pause the video, got some water, and I'm good. So that's what I'm looking at. When price was coming down here, over here, I was talking about that 32 cent level. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be big. And it did pop above that 33, above 33 cents. It started to pop, which is nice. And that's a good move, actually. Like if we look at the past, like this was a decent move here. And it got continuation, but then it got rejection because it was a pretty trash move afterwards. This was a decent move, but it came after this. So this pattern was a pattern. Now this, it just made a new low and then it started. So I do believe there's going to be some continuation. If it does come down, I'll probably get long myself. But then I would watch this next move very closely because 46 to 50 cents is going to be a rejection zone, something to keep an eye on. And if it gets above, 52, 55 cents, if it gets above that zone, then it can come up a little bit more and actually be kind of strong. So that's what I'm watching with Cardano. I kind of do like it. If it does come down a little bit more, that would be interesting. If not, that's totally fine. We'll just watch it go. And next on our list is Matic or Polygon. And you can see Polygon is starting to take off here. I was talking about how it looked like it was going to go a little higher. I have a long-term position in Polygon, but I'm not trading it short term, so I'm not in it as far as a trade is concerned. But just in fair disclosure, I do have a bag, and I did accumulate at the lows over here. I sold a little bit up here, kept it, but no reason to really talk about it. But because I'm not in this trade. I think long-term Polygon's going to be pretty big. But anyway, it is looking good. If I zoom out here, you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern that I talked about with Cardano is also Polygon. They're kind of counting the same way. They're just different down here. They're very much different down here. But looking at the same structure, this is definitely corrective. In my last video, I talked about 140, 160 in Polygon as a possibility to come up to. Now, if price were to get super strong, take out that 160, take out 190, and if it were to do that very soon, then I would have to change my view here. But I following like the majors, and Polygon is kind of like quasi, because I think Polygon is one of the majors. So you have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Polygon, but Polygon is the layer 2 over Ethereum. So it's kind of quasi. So it doesn't, sometimes it likes to move on its own. But you can see here, it moved just like Cardano. And now what are we seeing? We're seeing this massive, massive pop. So what would invalidate this massive pop up? Well, a move below 98 cents. If it moved below $1, like if it just stopped here and moved down below $1, I'd be very concerned. And I would start to think that we're going to come down here. However, the longer it stays above it and just keeps pushing up, it's looking pretty good. And then, you know, like I said, if it's going to be strong, it's going to get over 190 and keep pushing. If it's going to do something that I'm thinking, resistance theoretically begins at 129. I know I said 140 to 160 is a target zone, but resistance technically begins down at 129. So 129 to 160, that's going to be your resistance. And then, you know, if it gets strong, it's going to get strong. But that's kind of what I'm thinking with Polygon. We could very easily see it come up, find that rejection, come down, and then come up one more time. We could easily see that. That would be a corrective pattern in a bear market. That would look totally okay. But really just have to wait and see. Right now, Polygon's looking good. And I do think long term it is a pretty good hold. Next, Solana. Solana probably also going to be a long-term hold, just because there's a lot of money behind it, a lot of venture capitalists behind it. It is a very centralized blockchain, and it's far from one of my favorites. But, you know, if you can make money, you can make money. You know, money does not have friends. Money likes to compound itself. So Solana is looking fairly okay here. You know, when it came down, I was watching this $22 and above level, $22 to $27, very, very closely, because we really did need to find support there. We have. This was around $26 here in June. And now here in late October, it came down to about 27, slightly into the 26 range. And now we're starting to get that push up again with Solana, which is very interesting. And if I zoom in here, you can see the move. It's similar to what Cardano did, a little bit weaker, but you know, it is what it is. So right here, I am viewing 39.40. I'm going to call it 39.40. If Solana can push up and get above there, and it can come down a little more and support, that's totally fine. I'd say 29.20 to 31.30. So that would be the zone. You know, if it comes down and it breaks this low right here of 27.23, 26.82, if it comes down and breaks 26.82, then there's a problem. But staying above that zone right there is going to be our support. And if it pushes over that 39.5, that would be pretty strong. And Solana does have the potential to run a little bit. I'd say 46 to 52 is going to be your resistance if it does run a little bit, which means it gets over that 39.20 level. And I know I say a different number every time, but you know, whatever. But this high right here, this is what I'm watching. This high is at 38.95. So we can just say 39 on that. That's perfectly okay. So if it gets above 39, that's what I would be looking for, that resistance right up there. And Solana, if everything else is going to go nuts, if Bitcoin runs up to that higher zone that I was talking about, then we can see Solana come up here. But if not, you know, this is what I'm watching very, very closely right up here. So those are my thoughts on Solana. Right now I'm thinking the mid-tier bullish scenario that I've been talking about the entire time is what I'm thinking. So that's really what I'm thinking with Solana. But that's a pretty decent move, actually. So next, let's go to BNB. Binance coin, I did talk about in my last video, somewhere around that 400 area. And now, you know, you're just seeing it take off. You're seeing it take off to the upside. It held higher support here, which is very interesting. And now that it's starting to take off, anywhere up here is going to be possible resistance. So that 412 to 379 is going to be a zone. It's going to be a big zone. Let's zoom out a little bit on the overall chart and we can talk about a couple things. So I'm thinking Binance is the same pattern that Bitcoin is putting in. And, you know, we have a 1, 2, 3, and then we're waiting on a 4 to happen. Now, the 4, is it getting a little long? Possibly a little bit, but it's still looking okay. But that's what I'm thinking. Binance Coin is looking strong, and I'm not in it. I'm not trading it, but it is looking very strong. Coming up here looks really good. And that's what I'm waiting on, is to see it hit this zone here, and then does it continue up? Does it not? I'm thinking it shoots up into this zone, possibly a little bit higher, and then you get that rejection back down. But we really have to wait and see what happens. That's why I'm long Ethereum and Bitcoin right now, just kind of waiting to see what is going to play out, and then kind of go from there. So that's what I'm looking at with Binance. Now let's go to XRP. XRP is interesting because we did have a little bit of a bounce recently. XRP, if we look at the overall chart, so I'm looking at this as being a corrective move. So this move up followed by all of this is corrective right now. XRP, I know there's a lot of XRP maxis out there right now that just want to own XRP because of the, you know, different fundamental reasons, and that's fine. I don't like to lock up cash for an extended period of time. You know, I like to make my trades, get out, make more trades. That's how you compound your money. You know, unless you own the underlying token and you're staking it for a pretty decent amount, it really isn't helpful. But that's me. You know, you do you, I do me. But I like to share my thoughts in these videos because I've been told that some people out there appreciate it. So anyway, XRP, we did have this move up, which was very interesting. It stopped around 56 and now it's floating around here, and you're getting this pop, which is coinciding with the rest of the market, which is pretty good. So what can you see from this? Well, you need price to get stronger. You know, it popped up a little and now it's around 49.2 cents. You know, is that helpful right now? Not really. If it drops back down, especially below 48.5, then I would look for it to come back down here, because that would just make it choppy. That would make it very choppy. If it was to come up, get over 50 cents, get over 51, 52 cents, and just start pushing higher, get over 60, 63, that would be kind of strong. First resistance level is going to be at 65 to 60 cents. And that's assuming it goes straight up here. If it does get back below that 48.5 cent mark, I'm going to be a little apprehensive on it, and, you know, have to see where it goes from there. So right now XRP is a little sketchy. So I'll just wait and see what happens. You know, I think there's better trading vehicles out there, but that's what I'm watching with XRP. So let's go back to the total market cap again real quick. And basically what I'm seeing with the overall market is that possibility to push up. So right now the market's at $995.6 billion, the overall market cap. You know, we could very easily see price come up to 1.24 to 1.13 trillion market cap. That would push us over $1 trillion. And then from there, what happens, we'll have to wait and see. You know, I gave you a bunch of different views on all of these currencies, all these cryptos, I should say. I should call them currencies, but all these cryptos, I gave you a bunch of views. If you have a different view, feel free to throw that in the comment section below. If there's a token that you would like me to talk about, put that down in the comment section below. And if I get enough comments, like, people wanting me to look at it, let me know. If somebody asks about the token you're curious about, throw a like on that, or just, put down there that you want it as well. So that way I know. There's no such thing as a dumb question. There's only the one that's not asked. So if you would like some advice, or, just hear another voice on something that you're interested in, let me know. So with that, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you around the crypto markets. Take care.